Hello, welcome to Have a Homebrew. Today we're going to brew a lovely Sussex Ale, the first all-grain brew I ever did. I'm going to return to it because it's the last time I'll be using my super bodged together brewing gear before I move to my slightly bodged together brew gear that we've spoken about on this blog already. So Sussex Ale, based a little bit off of Harvey's Best, uses pale malt, dark crystal malt and some brewer's maize. Those 4 lovely hops. We'll get to the grain bill properly in a mo. First things first, we've got to clean everything because it's been in the shed. The eagle-eyed among you will have noticed the brew day was well underway by the time I got to recording that, but back to the beginning and back to cleaning. That stuff was pretty minging because it's been in the shed for a while. So good wash off. Don't worry about those electrics. I did let them dry off before I started any boiling. Good rinse off once we'd given it a good wash. Let it dry a little bit and then in with the Star San to sterilise it, sanitise it, ready for use. Putting a load in the bottle there as well so that we can use it. And fill up the boil kettle with our strike water. The grain bill was 3.5 k of pale malt, about 1/4 of a k each of maize and dark crystal malt, and then 4 hops. We've got Progress, Bramling Cross, Goldings and Fuggles. All beautiful hops. Looks like the strike water is nearly full, so we just wait for it to get up to temperature. Bit below what we were looking for, but I went with it anyway. Filled it up into the mash tun and then put the grains in. A little bit at a time, giving it a good stir with each addition. Don't want any clumps, we don't want any hot spots. Want nice even texture and temperature throughout. Once it's all in, give it one final good stir. Smells great at this point. And then take the temperature, which was pretty much bang on at that point. Close the lid and leave it for an hour. About 20 minutes into that, give it a good stir and take the temperature again. I'm just looking to see how much I lost, quite a bit. Time to measure out some hops. This is the Progress. We're looking for 26 grams of Progress hops. That goes in right at the beginning of the boil. The rest of the hops are Bramling Cross, 26 grams as well, half an hour in. And right at the end of the boil, you put 15 grams of each of Goldings and Fuggles in for the aroma. I do love the smell of the Progress hop, even though it's not the aroma one. And there's 26 grams of it. Mash over, so we've all have to establish a grain bed and then transfer over to the boil kettle. I'm doing my bodgy version of fly sparging through a kitchen colander. Looking to sparge into the top of the mash tun at the same rate as I'm getting fluid out of the bottom, and that allows us to keep the grain bed nice and even. As well as that, we're aiming for about half an hour to fill up the boil kettle, extract all those sugars. Now we boil 60 minutes in. Once we're at that boil, or 60 minutes to go, we are adding the Progress hops. A little bit at a time, mainly because a hop addition can cause a massive boil over, and as you can see I have to run really close to the top of this kettle anyway. Luckily one of my elements keeps it at quite a nice rolling boil. Half an hour in, 26 grams of Bramling Cross go in. Nice and clear boil by that point. And then 10 minutes to go, I stick my immersion chiller in there just to sterilise that a bit. With the boil over, we stick in the other 30 grams of hops. And it's time to chill. So turn on that immersion chiller and let the cold water roll through to cool down the beer. Once that's done, down to about 19-20 degrees, transfer it over to the fermentation tank. Check the temperature. 19 degrees is a little on the low side, but it'll do. And then in goes the YLP 002 Y-Labs yeast. It's an English ale yeast. I don't do anything other than get it up to room temperature and just plonk it into the beer in the little clumps that it comes out in. It stirs itself once activity comes up. Fermentation's always been pretty good for me doing this, but if anyone has better suggestions, let me know. And then I put it into the fermentation chiller. All done. So there it is, fairly successful brew day. That is one of my favourite beers to brew, so relatively simple. Bit of a shame about the lack of a hot bag, meaning that I couldn't drain from the brew kettle very well. It's the last brew with that kit. That kit has seen me well in my first brews in all grain, but it's very simple. It's not up to the job. I'm really looking forward to showing you some details of my new rig as I build it. Hit subscribe to see videos of that when they come out, as well as the results of the fermentation of this beer. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Really look forward to bringing you some more content, and relax, don't worry, have a home brew. Although I'll let you in on a little secret. I've run out of homebrew, so that's Old Speckled Hen.